Hey there, welcome to Synth Seeker. My name is Luke. I'm going to change the format of the videos going forward from now on. I'm not going to do any intros or anything like that. I'm just going to jump right into what we're covering today. And what we're covering today is the Moog Minitaur desktop synthesizer. This is basically a desktop version of the Taurus synthesizers that were sort of pedal-based that you may have seen on stage in the past. Basically a set of pedals that you would step on to play these fantastic bass noises. And this is targeted to be a bass synthesizer. In fact, it will not play any notes above C4. And if you go higher than C4, what happens is it will wrap them around. So if I play a G above C4, it'll play the G below C4, one octave down, which is nice. It's a nice feature. The point of this video is I'm going to walk through four of my favorite patches on the Minitaur, just to, illustrate why I love it and how I use it. Really, that's about it. So let's get started. The very first patch I've got here is what I call a Roland pluck. I strongly recommend that you listen to this with headphones or through good speakers, because this thing is beefy. Right? It's a 2-oscillator synth. This isn't a review of it. I'm not going to cover all the features in it, but I'm going to talk about some of these sounds I like. When I use the Minitaur, I want it as a bass synth, okay? And I use it as the foundation for a lot of things, and I really fall on these four patches. I use it for these deep plucks, real rumbly, a little too low, but and let me the way I use this usually is I will arpeggiate it. Right, so that's that 80s sound, an 80s synth bass. I did a video earlier on how to get this sound on just about any synthesizer. It's a sawtooth wave, then a square wave, an octave apart, layered on top of each other, a little detuning, a little bit of resonance, and so. The only effects that are running is I've got a little room reverb running in the background. Okay. One thing I like with this is to use a little chorus. I don't know if you can hear that. We widen it a bit. All right. Now with that running, make the gate a little shorter. Let's turn on some delay. All right, there's a dotted eighth delay running behind it for our ducka-duckas. Let's do this. There we go. And then we play with things like EG amount. Spread it across 2 octaves. Whoops, there we go. Anyway, so Roland style plucks. I use this. Use the Minitaur for this a lot. Okay. What else do I use it for? So Minitaur supports presets, which is nice. Let's do this. Turn my gate up, turn the ARP off. There we go. Turn our delay down and turn our chorus off because I want to do most of this with no effects, just a little reverb. I don't know if you've seen the old film from the 80s, Flash Gordon, but Max von Sydow plays Ming the Merciless. So if you can get this through a sub, the rumble off of this thing is insane. Especially if I turn the resonance down. So this is the classic Taurus sound. It's this sub that you just run under whatever you need to run it under. My dad refers to this kind of sound as generating a lot of pant flap. So that's the second patch, right? So that's the second kind of sound I get out of the Minitaur a lot. Minitaur is pretty broad. You can do a lot with it. But these are sort of my go-tos. So we've got our roll and pluck. We've got this sort of the classic Taurus sub. If you listen to the EP I put out a couple months ago, the bass guitar that I'm playing in it uses this sound underneath the bass guitar. So when the bass is playing fast parts, you don't really hear this. It doesn't fade in, but on sustained notes, this swells up under it, and it's really awesome, in my opinion. All right, let's talk about one more. So here's a really round bass. Right, and so the attack, and then we get this nice, again, sub below. It's not, it's just a single oscillator. So it's not gonna have phase. And if you play legato, the attack doesn't retrigger. Now you could turn that on so it retriggers on every time you play a note, but I prefer to just turn up the sustain on the filter a little bit so that the filter never closes too far. All right, so that is another of my favorites. That is just a bass patch I go to. It's real clean, real smooth. And then finally, when I need a little motion, this is a bass that's got the first oscillator just playing the bass, the second oscillator synced to the first one and giving us that sync sound. And the LFO is a random voltage LFO that is changing the pitch of the second oscillator, so you're getting that sort of rhythmic, it's eighth notes right now, rhythmic sort of beating. Turn the resonance up, you're going to lose some of the bass. That's just the nature of the Moog filter. I'm going to turn up the VCF, so the filter's being modulated the same way that the oscillator 2 is. So we're going to get the oscillator 2 sync as well as the filter frequency shifts. Let's turn the delay back on. Anyway, so that is the Moog Minitaur. This is a bass synth. It has huge low end, giant balls, or whatever the equivalent is for. But I just love it. I'm never getting rid of it. I'm going to hold on to it forever. It's built like a tank. Again, it's not a review. I just wanted to show you some of my favorite patches. So, and I think these are running $400, $500 in the US right now. And maybe that's used. I think it's pretty close. If you ever see the Moog Siren, Siren is basically a Minitaur that doesn't have the C4 limitation. Other than that, they're basically identical. The Siren's white. I think there's a few white Minitaurs out there too, but the Sirens are really pricey. They're like $1,000 just because they were a limited run. And while I would like one, I'm happy with the Minitaur. So anyway, that's it. That was some patches on the Minitaur. That's what I like. I encourage you to pick one of these up and or play with whatever you like. But synthesizer. I was going to say synthesizer lust, but we'll just say synth seeking has few limitations, right? And no bounds. So go pick one of these up if you can. And as always, thank you for watching. This has been Synth Seeker. Have a great weekend.